Hey, beautiful people, welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Alicia L. Watson, and I make faith-based videos here on YouTube. Today is day 5 of my 30-day challenge of posting consistently every day as I'm starting a YouTube channel, and I'm really glad that you're here. So these videos for the next 30 days are straight off the dome. There's no notes, there's no fancy equipment, there's no microphones. I'm shooting on my iPhone just to demonstrate the power of just starting where you are with what you have and how effective it can be. Now, I am a photographer / videographer, filmmaker. I do know a few tricks of the trade that makes these videos look pretty good, given the equipment limitations that I've given to myself, but that does not mean that you have to wait till you get skill sets or equipment to start your channel or whatever God has told you to do. I'm on day 5 of this consistency challenge. And within this challenge, I said I was going to talk about a few barriers to obedience for me, because God told me to start this channel and it took me a really long time, over a year, to start this channel. But here I am doing it 5 days. Today is my 5th day of posting consistently, and it's building my confidence in myself. And I hope in some way it's building your confidence in yourself to start too. And so for today, I wanted to talk about the next barrier to obedience for me, which was, it's a combo, but I'll state it as perfectionism. I am a self-proclaimed recovering perfectionist, and I like to have things look just so, be just so. And as a result of that, I don't often find myself being spontaneous, right? I like to plan, I like to be equipped, and sometimes I just don't do it if I don't feel like it's right. And that's kind of been one of the issues that I've been having in starting this channel. If you are like me and you fight through this idea of perfectionism, you might find yourself on two ends of the spectrum, and I found myself on both. One is overthinking. So like I said, when I started the video, I have all of the equipment that I need. I have several microphones, maybe, I want to say 10 different microphones, because we had a podcast set up here too, where we were group podcasting. So it's at least 10 different microphones, different types of microphone, every microphone that I could possibly need to get this video assignment complete. I have cameras, I have cool gear that enhances the video, I have lenses, I have all kinds of things to make this channel look magnificent if I wanted to. And I want to, because I can, and I like that, and I like to be entertained in such a way where it's stimulating to my senses, and I like to also be impressive in such a way. And so for me, I was overthinking it because I wanted to be able to produce something that would make me proud, produce something that I put out into the world that represented me well. I wanted to be impressive. I wanted to be the thing that people came across, or the person that people came across on YouTube and said, ooh, this is good, let me subscribe. Ooh, I'm so inspired. Ooh, I'm so motivated by this. Or, ooh, this girl just knows what she's doing. She's dope. And while all those things can be true, and they pretty much are true about me and my skill set, the fact is that me stopping myself from doing this because of that, because I didn't have the motivation to do it in that way, or I didn't have the time or couldn't find the time to do it in that way, stopped me from completing the assignment. And so looking at myself, knowing myself, and knowing that above being impressive, I wanted to impress God. Right? I wanted God to be pleased with my obedience. And because I wasn't being obedient, something within me was feeling so convicted and feeling so disappointed in myself for what felt like I was disappointing God. And I probably was, because he told me to do something and I wasn't doing it. And I know if you think like, oh man, God can be disappointed. Yeah, he can be disappointed. He was disappointed in King Saul. And he was actually sad that he had ever even made him king. Can you imagine God giving you an assignment and like being sad that he even gave you the assignment because of how you fumbled it? I did not want to be that person. I didn't want God sitting in heaven or sitting all around us, just sitting next to me like, I want him to be able to say, well done, right? And so in my obedience, I just wanted to get it done. I wanted to get it done quickly. And I always aim for excellence as the counterbalance, or I guess the counter to my idea of perfection. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be excellent to my standards, but even this to me isn't excellent. Doing it in this way based on what I know about video and, you know, making things look good and sound good, it's not my standard of excellence. But nevertheless, I'm looking to God in faith to see what he can do with just this little bit, this mustard seed of faith, filled obedience in doing the channel in this way. I'm happy to be a vessel to be showing others how you can just do it in this way. And I'm not the first. There's other people that are on the platform right now doing videos out of their car with their phone, or, you know, and there's people who are doing like full-blown, full-scale productions as well. And so I don't want to be one or the other. I just want to be obedient. So here I am just doing it. The other side, like the other pole, if we're talking about like the polar opposite parts of the spectrum, it can lead you to feel overwhelmed, which is something I also experienced because I was overthinking it. It made me feel like, okay, it's a lot. It's a lot because here's all the steps that I have to do in order to get to the perfect product that I want. I need to script. I need to charge my equipment. I need to set up my equipment. I need to find just the right angle. I need to find the space that has the best acoustics. I need to write down all of my topic ideas. I got to batch out all of these things so I never get caught slipping and never be inconsistent. Like I have to make sure my editing gear is up to speed because I like to edit on a laptop. Will it be able to handle a longer video? Do I have B-roll? Like there's so many things that can be incorporated into a video in the way that I want to incorporate it to make it look really good, that it becomes like a big, huge Herculean task to get this done, when in actuality, that's not what God was asking me to do, not asking me to do it in that way. And so one thing I like to remind myself, and I'm going to remind you, if God asks you to do something, you need to ask him how, because he'll give you the what, and he'll also give you the how. And sometimes the how is not what you think it's supposed to be, or how it should be, or how you've ever experienced it, or how you've witnessed it be. The how, it might be just his way. And what it makes me think of is one of my other favorite Bible characters, people, is Gideon. And Gideon, his story can be found in Judges 6. And it is, if you're not familiar with it, it is a story of a man who was used by God to save his people from enemy occupiers of their land, the Midianites. The Israelites have been really oppressed for a long time, so much so that every time they like grow crops or get ready to like have a harvest, the other people come in and attack them and basically starve them out and take their land. And it was just a really, really sad, sorry existence. And he was bitter when the angel of the Lord found him. But that angel called him a mighty warrior. He had something to say back to him, like, how, you call him a mighty warrior? Like, I'm the least of my father's clan family, who is the least of all the clans of Israel. Like, I'm not a warrior. I'm just somewhere here who's threshing my wheat in a wine press so I don't get caught. I'm in a cave. We live in caves. Like, these people are picking on us. They're bullying us. And God doesn't seem like he's anywhere to be found. But the angel tells him, you're a warrior. And not only are you a warrior, but you're the warrior that God has chosen to lead his people to freedom, because he's finally heard their cry. Well, he's been heard them, but he's heard their cries. He's heard their cries for help. And today is the day he's answering. And so in the story, you should read it. I'm not. I'm gonna pair. One of these days, when I get, when I'm able to do like full notes and stuff, I want to actually show the Bible verses and read it together because I love reading the Bible and I love reading Bible stories and I want to go through them with you. But for now, because I'm paraphrasing, please go back and read Judges 6, the story of Gideon. But so there's a series of things that God has Gideon do and things that Gideon has God do to prove to him that, one, you're sending me to do this thing that you're telling me to do. Like, you're building my confidence in myself. And God is also like building his confidence in himself through the task that he gives him. So it's like, go down and tear down the Asherah pole that's in your father's household, I guess, just to show your commitment to me. Let's get all these false idols out of the way because I'm about to do a big thing. Let's remind these people of who I am. And then even with that, after he did that, and he did that under the cover of night, Gideon asked God to show him that it was really him that was sending him. And then when he got that confirmation, the Spirit of the Lord came on him and he blew the horn and called all the people, all the men out, the fighting men out from all the tribes and from, the hill country and everywhere else. Read the story. And he called them out and was like, let's go to war. And so they go, they're like, yeah, like Gideon, we got a leader. We about to like get our freedom or whatever. And they go out and God starts to tear Gideon's army down in numbers, right? And so much he starts to like, I don't remember how many thousands. It was tens of thousands, maybe like 60, 80. I don't know. It gets down to, I think, 10. And then after that, it gets down to 300. 300 warriors from like 80,000 that's frightful. We're going to fight the people that are oppressing us with just 300 people. But the way that it plays out is that they don't even have to really fight to start. Like, God had the people so confused, the enemy was killing themselves. And then they had that burst of like confidence and energy that they went out and just did the job after that. Like, so they chased them down, they were killing people and, just taking back everything that was theirs. They got the victory. But it was because God made sure that he was with them when they went. And he took that army down to 300 so that they be sure to give him the victory when they got it, or give him the glory when they got the victory. And so I'm saying all of that to say, maybe he's telling you to do something and he's telling you to do it in a way that doesn't feel like the way that you should do it, so that he can get the glory when it blows up, when it pops off, when it is successful, when it changes lives, when you feel different, when you're transformed, when others are transformed, when you receive abundance, when people are saved, when the book is done, when the video is out, the channel is started, the kids are graduating, the marriage is restored, like whatever God is telling you to do. Ask him how to do it. Because if he's telling you to do it, more than likely it's for your good and for his glory. And you want to do it in the way that he's telling you to do it because he knows how he wants you to do it. And if you do it his way, it comes with so much more peace. When I tell you I had so much like turmoil, inner turmoil and frustration, not being able to say that I've started this, or telling people when they ask me, well, what are you doing right now? Well, I'm starting a YouTube channel. I've been starting a YouTube channel for 1.5 years. I'm starting. Have you started? No, I'm starting. Or God told me to do a YouTube channel. That's even worse, because how many times do I say God told me to do something? It's like, girl, you haven't done it yet? And God told you to do something, you haven't done it yet? What's stopping you? And the answer is always me. So how do we get past me? Well, you figure out what's stopping you and you just do the opposite of that thing. So if me wanting to do it excellently is stopping me, I'm going to do it the most basic way that I feel like is basic for myself. Other people, this might be the greatest way for you. It's the greatest way for me to start. So because I don't know what God is going to do with it. And it won't be me that gets the glory from being some dope filmmaker, producer, creator here. These next 30 days where I have really restrained myself because I want to make a script so badly. I hate rambling. I'm a good speaker. I'm an excellent writer. I want to read a script, but I'm not. I'm not doing it because I've made this commitment. to go bare bones, to see what God can do with my 300, to see the victory that he can make or he can have with my 300. Another thing that I'm not doing is watching how to grow your YouTube channel videos on YouTube right now, or what settings to have, or anything that has to do with like making this work any better than it is. My job for the next 30 days is to just show up here, be present, be consistent, be open, and be available, be a vessel. And so that's what I'm doing. Now, after the 30 days, then we'll start moving towards that excellence I'm talking about. But I'm really committing, really committing right now to allow God to have space to be God. So you will see one cut in this video. Just know it's not for content or context or anything like that. My alarm started to ring, even though I had the phone on Do Not Disturb. I did not know if the camera was still on. I'm gonna cut that part out and merge the other parts together. Where was I? Okay. So if you overthink, if you're overwhelmed, both of those things can leave you feeling stuck. And if you feel stuck, that might cause you to have feelings of self-doubt. And those feelings just turn into a plethora of like negative feelings the more and more time that you allow to pass between the time that God gave you the assignment and the time that you actually did the assignment. And so that is, in my opinion, a way for the enemy to attack you, to attack your character, attack your trust that God is really calling you to do what he's telling you to do, right? Or you could just be feeling conviction from the Holy Spirit. Just pray, see which one it is. Either way, how do you counteract all of that? Through action, of course. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking action here. It's not perfect action. It's not even excellent action for my standards, but it is action. And I think one thing that we as a society do is give procrastination a lot of space, in negative space, in our like assessment of other people, especially if you feel like you yourself are a procrastinator. It makes you feel not so nice things about yourself. And if that is you, maybe you're not lazy, maybe you don't procrastinate, but maybe you are suffering from a bit of perfectionism. And if that is you, and if you need help figuring that out, I'd like to recommend a book called The Now Habit by Dr. Neil. Is he a doctor? Not sure. I have it on a digital version and I would show it to you, but I can't edit in a picture of it. So Dr. Neil Fiore, and it's called The Now Habit. And I would pick up that book and read that book and kind of get an idea of whether or not that applies to you. It was one of the books that really helped me through my negative feelings about myself and the things that I was assigning to my identity in terms of being a procrastinator, when in fact I was just being too perfectionistic. And that helped me along my journey of perfectionism, to start even there to like counteract that idea that I had to be perfect. And usually perfection is kind of a defense mechanism to help you to not be rejected, to help you to not be spoken ill of. And it really is a false identity, because nobody's perfect. Nothing is perfect. You just do your best. You just work in excellence. And so, yeah, I suggest you pick that book up. I suggest you read Judges chapter 6 about the story of Gideon and enjoy that story and get inspired by his life and how God acted through him. And then I would say just do it. Just do the thing that God has placed on your heart to do. Do the assignment and do it in faith that whatever is stopping you from doing it. I have several barriers. They might not be the same barriers as yours, but you know what it is. Whatever is stopping you from doing it pales in comparison to the glory that God will get and the good that you will experience from your obedient action. So that's all I have for you today. And if you are enjoying these videos, I would love it if you like, subscribed, leave a comment, and or share it to someone else just that might need to hear it. I'm getting better and better at this. Every day is feeling a little easier. Use me as your example that it's not as bad as it seems, especially if you have to start a YouTube channel. Don't doubt yourself. And if you do doubt yourself, trust God. Like, even if you don't see yourself as a mighty warrior or a person who has an interesting life to share or a intellectual enough perspective or even a grasp on, biblical principles or teachings, like, just share your testimony. Share your story. Tell people why you love God as much as you do. Like, that is important too. Like, everybody can't be a Bible teacher out here, Sometimes you just need to be like the woman at the well who ran back to her city and told everybody, come see a man who told me everything I ever did. And then they all came out and they met Jesus and they said, we don't need to hear your story anymore. We've heard for ourselves and we believe. Maybe your story is enough to get people to say, well, let me go check this Jesus out for myself. And then, like, we don't even need to listen to you so much because now we're plugging in and you don't even have that burden of teaching everybody. Like, that's how I feel about this. I don't want to teach. I don't want to preach. I just want to share and I just want to connect, because the more that we connect, the more that we share, the more that we show up and show ourselves, the more people will know the way to the way. Because he is the way, the truth, and the life. And we want to just show how good he is, right? Because he really is good. That's it. That's all. That's all I have for you today. Yeah, that's it. Okay, bye.